Hello, writers. So today we are going to be taking a closer look at how we write our literary response paragraphs. We've been learning to write a response paragraph to a question and using a rice-ice strategy to answer the question and fully develop our paragraphs. But today we're going to take a closer look at how do we revise our paragraphs and edit our paragraphs to include correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So first we're going to take a look at spelling and capitalization rules and some strategies to help you be the best speller you can be. Memorizing sight words, which you can look online to get a list of 100 common sight words, is helpful. If you don't have them memorized, make some flashcards and memorize them. Also, looking at the long vowel rule and remembering that there's a silent E that goes on the end of long vowel words. Sounding out words slowly and looking them up and using spell check are important strategies to help you be the best speller you can be. And then also the capitalization rules are really important. There's something that often students forget to go back and double check that they're capitalizing. So make sure you're capitalizing the first letter at the beginning of every sentence. Also, that you're capitalizing any proper nouns, which would be any names for people, places, or things, proper names. Also titles of books, the important words get capitalized. For example, in the novel, The Color of My Words by Lynn Joseph, Wash Day is a special day for Anna Rosa because it is the only time that Anna Rosa and Mommy can be alone. So here you see the capital of each letter of the title of the book, of important words in the book. Each letter is capitalized. Also, Lynn Joseph's first and last name are capitalized. The words wash day are capitalized because they are the title of a specific day. For example, New Year's Day or Christmas Day would be capitalized because they're the name of a day. President's Day, Columbus Day, anything that's given an official name is capitalized. Of course, Anna Rosa's name is first and middle name are capitalized. And here it is, and also Mommy, because that is her name. Some words that are also that are sight words are words like because and the word only. These are words that you should memorize, again, looking up the list of 100 or 200 sight words that you learned in elementary school. So let's try looking for some spelling and capitalization errors. Use your handout that you got in class today and go through the handout and look for errors in this model paragraph. We're going to be using this paragraph several times. So you can stop the video and go through and look to see if you can find 9 spelling or capitalization errors. If you don't have the handout, you can also find the handout online on our website under English Documents. The next thing we're going to be looking at as we edit and revise our work is to look closely at punctuation. For today, we're going to be looking at some basic comma rules. So commas are used before and after a quotation in a sentence. They're also used after common introductory words in a sentence, like the words however, clearly, well, for example, in addition, for instance. Commas can also be used to connect two independent clauses, which are complete ideas that if they stood alone could be complete individual sentences. Commas are used to separate a whole series of items, like a list of items in a sentence. And they're also used to separate city and state, and also items in a date. So let's look at some examples. So in this first one, it says, let me make this green, it says, Anna Rosa said, "Why must we always be silent?" So here the comma is used before the quote. Up here, comma is used before and after a quotation in a sentence. So the next one shows, "It will never pass this way again, comma, she said." The next example shows how a comma is used right after an introductory word or phrase. So the introductory word or phrase is, "In addition, on wash day, Ana Rosa can tell mommy about her feelings about life, her family, and her dreams." This actually shows two of the ways a comma can be used. It's used right after an introductory phrase, like "in addition," and it's also used to separate items on a list, like feelings about her life, that's one thing on the list, feelings about her family, and her dreams. So we use the comma to separate each item in the list, and it goes before the word "and," before the last item in the list. And lastly, this example shows how a comma can be used to connect two independent clauses, which if they stood alone, they could be complete sentences. She shares her deepest secrets with mommy, comma, suggesting that they have a very close relationship. And I copied and pasted this from the spelling one that shows there's a spelling error still here. So I've just quickly corrected that spelling error. So this is just a real live example of how proofreading is so important. Now we're going to take a closer look at punctuation. Every sentence must end with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. This is super important, and it's something that I've noticed as I'm looking at your writing. Some people are forgetting to do this. Also, when writing personal narratives, all your punctuation will go inside the quotation marks. Because when you're writing a personal narrative, you're telling your account of something, and when there's dialogue in the personal narrative, that's when you want to make sure all the punctuation goes inside the quotation marks. You're not citing text evidence when you're writing a personal narrative, so that's the difference. When citing quotes from a text, periods go after the citation, but exclamation points and question marks go inside the quote. The examples below show citations when you're citing a text. "It was just me and her and the river. No other hands, no other ears." So here, because it's a citation, the punctuation goes, let's just see, the punctuation goes here outside the citation, and it's a period. But here, when it's asking a question, we're still citing a quote from The Color of My Words, and it says, "Couldn't I say what I wished on paper?" So because it's a question or an exclamation point, you need that question mark, but then you still need the period outside the citation to cite correctly. Now it's your turn. Here comes the challenge. So use that same handout that you used before, and the second section of it is a practice sheet for you to practice finding errors in capital letters, periods, commas, or text citations. So there's 18 errors in all. You can do this on your handout. You could also, if you don't have the handout, you can download it and you can put it into Notability and highlight it. Either one is good. Good luck. So remember, when editing, the biggest thing that can help you edit, the most important thing you can do as a writer, is to reread your work out loud. Reading it out loud helps you find spelling, grammar, and punctuation errors. And after you finish reading it out loud, ask yourself these questions. Did I double check spelling and typos? And did I double check capital letters, punctuation, and citations?